You're listening to All Burgundy and Go, everything powered by the urban sports scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. I'm Wole, and I'm joined by my guys, Glen and George. What's good, fellas?
Nothing much, man. Ready for some football. It'll be 10 days on Sunday, 7 days. 7 days since the Washington Commanders lost to the Philadelphia Eagles and had their first 2-game losing streak of the year. I'm ready for Sunday. I'm sorry. I'm ready for Sunday.
What you, George?
Oh, I just want to see one of my teams get on the winning track. Need a Washington comprehensive win bad on Sunday. Really need it right now.
I mean, first, it's Dallas week, though. I need y'all to be a little bit more hype. It's Dallas week.
You know it ain't the same, and you know why it ain't the same, and let's not go down that road. And plus the fact that Dallas absolutely stinks.
Well, no, hold on. Wait, before I get into it, why isn't it the same?
Man, I don't want to go down the road of what all the terrible radio people in DC do. You know why it ain't the same, and we're not going there because let's not go there.
Oh, you say okay? I got you.
Yeah, see, yeah. No, I knew you'd pick up what I'm laying down. Okay, I know you got me.
I got you. All right, Glenn, does it feel like Cowboy week to you?
It does feel like Cowboy week to me. It feel like because again they're playing the Cowboys. I feel like Cowboy week to me because they need to get a win, right? They needed to get a divisional win. They lost 2 games, and they need to get that dub. And it just happened to be the Cowboys. What better way to get off of the snide? What better way to end your 2-game losing streak by beating the Dallas Cowboys? I don't care how good they are. I don't care if they lost Dak Prescott. I don't care. I don't care none of that stuff, right? All that matters is that Washington's playing at home. They're playing the Cowboys. And they need to get the dub. It is Cowboy week, and I don't care who limps into town, what's blue and silver, whatever you want to call it, limp into town. It is really Cowboy week, and I'm excited. Let's go.
Not like they felt sorry for us when we were pathetic and terrible and injured and everything else.
And we're
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and we'll get into that too, to what the topic's about. But I do. That's the thing. Like last year we were pathetic, and they stomped a mud hole in us. So I'm kind of like. Payback. That's my mindset. My mindset's like payback. But for me, like, I hate the Cowboys. So it's always going to be Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys with a passion. So it always feels good to meet them. And especially to play them when they're this vulnerable is a whole different beast to me. It's a whole different animal. And I can be very petty to Cowboy fans too. So it makes me feel even better. Because like once now to all those Cowboy fans that were all loud in my mouth, loud in my face, feeling a certain way about their team. And now they like quiet. I mean, they do kind of like feel like the old Commanders. That's what's kind of amazing. Like the Cowboys feel like what we were a couple weeks under the other regime. That's how I feel. Right. So it's pretty dope to me. But before we get into all that, let's get to logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on TikTok and IG at ABG_everything. Hey folks, also on our YouTube channel, follow us, subscribe to us. At our channel, which is All Burgundy and Gold Everything. That's the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on some of the other social media platforms, hop over to YouTube, search All Burgundy and Gold Everything, and subscribe and hit the like button. Matter of fact, hit the like button right now. While you on here, just hit the like button. I see some of y'all already on here on YouTube. Just hit that like button right now. Let's get that out the way.
This button right here.
Exactly, man. The thumbs up button. Just hit that thing. We're also streaming live on the Urban Sports Scene X account as well. All right, it's time for the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We'll debate whether the Cowboys game for the Commanders is a must win. I know we use this term a lot, must win, but we're going to debate whether it truly is must win. Hey, Glenn, take us home, bro. Is Glenn on mute?
Glenn is on mute.
Yeah, I was on mute. Okay. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Hey, Sunday at Northwest Stadium, the Washington Commanders take on their heated rival in the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys come in this game limping at 3-7. They just lost to the Houston Texans. The Commanders are 7-4, and they're coming off a 2-game losing streak after they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles on last Thursday night. Like I said, we throw this thing out there like this. Is it a must-win game? I'm going to start with you guys. Is this a must-win game? Washington Commanders 7-4. Mm-hmm. Is this a must? Sitting in the 6th playoff spot right now, right? Yeah. Number 7. They're sitting at number 7 right now.
They're 7. Mm-hmm.
Sitting at 7 right now. You got San Francisco and some other teams behind them. Is this a must-win game, George? for the Washington Commanders. And why?
I would, if it wasn't for who the opponent was, I would say no. If we had a good opponent, I would say, well, this is a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
The calculations being what they are, some of the rest of the schedule being what it is, I wouldn't say that. But because the opponent is absolutely wretched, their team is quit, their coach is a dead man walking, he's getting fired. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. They got Cooper Rush in there, and Cooper Rush doesn't have the horses around him to be successful like he did the last time that he had a stint as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
They better win, or there's going to be a lot of annoyed and upset people in the DMV and around Commanders Nation. You can't be losing to this Cowboys team. They're awful. They're rancid. And they've given up.
Yeah. I thought you were done too. Okay. So for me, it's definitely a must win for me. For all the points that George mentioned in terms of how they're playing and how they're playing, it seems like they're giving up. Quarterback, not Dak, it's Cooper Rush. And also, to be honest with you, Glenn said it, they're the 7th seed right now in the playoff race, and you can't throw away games against bad teams. I'm sorry. This team is a bad team. And you're right, like you could project the season. If you lose to the Cowboys team, that means you can lose anybody. You know what I mean? So to me, you got to set the tone. You got 10 games. You had 10 days to kind of, like, was a little mini bye. You have 10 days to kind of rev up and prep up for this game. So to me, it's a must win, because you lose this game, we can't say you can beat anybody then. All that talk about, hey, that team's on the schedule, that team, we got to throw that away. Now this team is more really struggling. Now we got to look at them differently. So to me, it's a must win. Like, for morale, just had a 2-game losing streak. I know, granted, that the competition was way better in those two teams. You played two good teams, one game against the Steelers team at home, and the other game on the road is Philadelphia, and they're physical teams. My man Paul, who's in the chat, said, like, yeah, they basically got tired because they're playing against physical teams. They got worn out. But now you got the Cowboys team. That excuse is not going to fly right here. You got a team that's beaten, that's turning on each other. If you don't win this game in a division game, yeah, it ain't a good look. So to me, it's a must win. Glenn.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. It's a must win game to me too. I think one is a must win. Let's call the elephant an elephant. It's a must win game because your head coach playing his former team, right? Your former coordinator is playing their former team, right?
That's the best point actually about it.
So there is a must win now. There's an opportunity to win a NFC game, right? Yeah. And it's an opportunity to win an NFC game, which keeps you ahead of other teams. San Francisco gave you a volleyball last week when they lost to the Seattle Seahawks, and they let Geno Smith run 26 yards into the end zone, right?
Yeah.
So you're looking at teams behind you that can catch you. The Los Angeles Rams. So every game here on out for me as a Commanders fan is a must-win game. I'm not looking at the 7 wins and say, you know what, they're good, because there's teams they need to win every game that you were supposed to win. They need to go out and win. I don't care if it's by a field goal. I don't care if it's domination. I don't care if it's by 1 freaking point. Win the freaking game, right? Live and play another day. And it's a must win. And it's Dallas week for all sakes. It is Dallas week. You always want to beat the Cowboys. Your rivals coming into town. Doesn't matter. You throw records out of the way. Your rivals coming into town, and you always want to beat them. So, and I don't think you have to get people up to understand the rival between the Washington Commanders, Washington Redskins. I'm going to use Redskins here, and the Dallas Cowboys, right? The Redskins and the Cowboys. You ain't got to get people up. This is one of the biggest rivalries in all the sports, right? And it's actually time this can really be. And people say, okay, it's Cooper Rush. I don't care who it is, because there have been times that Dallas came in here and Washington had no-name quarterbacks, and they whipped our tail, right? Yeah. Didn't make a difference. All right. But this right here is one of those games where Washington has to come in, and Washington has to show they learned something for the last 2 weeks, right? Because again, let's be honest, we talked about it on a post game. Everything has not been peaches and cream. Losses, when you losing exposes things on your team. And the loss to Philadelphia, the loss to Pittsburgh had exposed some things on this Washington team. You got 10 days to get it right. Let's see what the coaching staff have done and to get it right and to make this team successful. Hey, it's freaking Dallas week. Let's go again. Let's go. It is a must win. Every game here on out, for my opinion, for the Washington Commanders is a must-win football game.
I mean, and you still want, and even more. You mentioned all that stuff, but even division, like the division,
division, yeah, I forgot
that's
about that
play.
part.
Yeah, I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I'm agreeing with you. Like that's in play. So you don't want to like you got 2 already against the Giants. You lost 1 against the Eagles, which is okay. All right, you lost against the Eagles is 1, but you got to get another one. You got to get this Cowboys game, especially again. It's at home, right? It's a home game. It's a home division game. There's so many there's so much out there on the table. Forget how this team is playing or whatever. There's so much on the table with that alone. So to me, and like Glenn, and what you're referring to, and I totally agree, morale. Like we want that morale back where we felt like, yo, we wanted them. Now we got punched in the mouth for 2 weeks. Let's keep it a bit. We got punched in the mouth for 2 weeks. And like you said, Glenn, over the last, you could say since the Chicago game, this team hasn't had that same swag, right? You got the Chicago, even the Giants game. The Giants game was a struggle to a certain extent, like in terms of score, right? It was a struggle. It was like it was a dominating game, but not a dominating game, if you know what I mean, right? So like now we haven't seen that early Commanders team. We were like molly-whopping squads. Like we molly-whopped the Cardinals. We molly-whopped the Panthers. We were molly-whopping teams, right? Now we're looking at a team that seems a little bit vulnerable right now. So what would feel much better to kind of get that swag back against the Dallas Cowboys? You know what I mean? So that's the how I look at it. Go ahead, George. You want to say something?
Well, no, I mean, because, Glenn said something interesting that kind of leads into the question that I had for the group tonight. He said, I don't care if it's by a field goal or whatever, just win the game, which I understand after they've lost 2 games in a row. But I want to ask that question.
Yeah, sure.
Given how bad the Cowboys have been, would you come out of this game concerned if Washington only just barely scraped through? Like if they only did win by a field goal?
I would. I think they should dominate this team. A team that quits. I mean, at the end of the day, we would all feel good with a win, right? Like we would like, oh, yeah, we won. Like a win is a win, right? But on the flip side, I'm keeping it being. Like I would be annoyed. It's the same thing. It's the same issue I said before with Daniel Jones, right? There's no way Daniel Jones should look good against us. Like I'm not feeling good about that. You know what I'm saying? Well, the same thing applies here. Because I expect to beat the Cowboys. I won't even lie to you, and we'll make those. I know I'm jumping the gun in terms of predictions for pregame, right? But I expect to beat the Dallas Cowboys, right? I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I expect to. So if this game is close, I'm gonna be highly annoyed. I'm not gonna lie to you because I've watched this team play for weeks now because they're America's team, right? So we see them on national TV a lot. This team gets dominated pretty often. Pretty often. Did anybody watch what happened on was it Monday night? Like that was atrocious. Like that was atrocious. They quit.
And Houston didn't even play that good either.
They didn't either. George, exactly. They quit. You know what I mean? Like this team has put up duds throughout the season, even when healthy. Like even with Dak out there. So I'm just like, if you don't dominate this team, I know it's a division game, but it's a rivalry. You know what I mean? But to some, we started this conference. We started this off with. We referenced how they treated us when we were poor. Like they treated us bad, man. Like they treated us bad when we sucked.
The turkey legs last year.
Last year they treated us bad. Last year they treated us real bad. They were real disrespectful for us last year. I need that same vibe though. So to your point, to what you're saying, George. Yes, I'd be a little bit annoyed if they don't dominate the Cowboys.
Glenn? How about it, Glenn?
I think I'll be annoyed, but I like what Wole said. I want the dub. I'll be annoyed, and I'll be, I'm on here. I'm the first one to pick the team apart anyway, right? I love the team, but it's when they looking at it like there's something they didn't do right. I think they should dominate this team, but I'm still concerned. Offensively, you still got to look at a Michael Parsons. Defensively, you still got to worry about a CeeDee Lamb. All right, and at any moment, those 2 guys can take over games, especially with our secondary, which have gotten better, but also with our offensive line, the way they played for the last 2 weeks. So you got to worry about that. I'm not too concerned about the running game. The Dallas's running game is non-existent at this point, right? Their running game is not even existent. And then I look at this, how well, and like I said, this is one of those games where you tell players or you tell kids, it's not about your opponent, it's about us. have we learned? Have we fixed our mistakes? Have we fixed us over the last 10 days? Have we fixed what we do? And have we fixed how we got our cohesiveness back, right? Has Jaden Daniels got healthy enough where he was prior to the rib injury, right? Those type of things those are things. This is a game where they don't worry about anything else, just worry about them and go out and as Paul said, just go out there and dominate, right?
Yeah.
As I'm gonna use Doc Walker for a minute. Go out there and put your foot on their neck.
Facts.
Put your foot on their neck and stay on the gas, right? What was that? I can't remember the 98, 99 year Washington goes out there and drop 44 in like first two halves, something like that on Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. That's what I'm talking about. Something like that, where you go out there and from the word go, your foot is already up in their butt.
You gotta treat them like they did. I mean, I'm gonna use a player of more recency that I can remember. It was pretty bad though. They dominated the Redskins at the time. Dominated the Cowboys. This is when Kirk Cousins was here in that game in Dallas. He beat the bricks off the Cowboys.
Yeah,
you gotta, what I'm saying, George. Like that's probably is that the last like dominating one they had against the Cowboys?
I mean, they had one during COVID. I don't count that.
Yeah, the COVID one. They had one against COVID too. That's true. But like
Heineken game.
Think so.
Was it Heineken? Oh, it was Heineken.
When they started Ben DiNucci, I think.
That was Alex. Wasn't it Alex Smith? I could be wrong.
It might. Oh God, who even? No, it was probably Alex Smith actually.
It's Alex
Smith.
It was
Ben DiNucci was starting for Dallas, and I don't count that.
Okay.
Yeah. So so I want them to treat them like, to your point. Like I feel like a win is a win. A win is a win. I totally like. I'll get over it. If they just get a win, but I don't want to. I want to, like, just like Paul said. I'm glad you referenced it, Glenn. I just want to dominate. And to me, dominate means I don't need them to do anything against Washington, period. It's this team, because what this team does, what this Washington team defensively, what they do well, when they don't do well, the Cowboys don't do well at all offensively. Like the Cowboys can't run the football, and Washington doesn't stop the run. So that limits the Cowboys, right? To me, it limits the Cowboys. And then what Washington does well offensively, the Cowboys don't do in terms of defensively and stopping the run. So to me, that's a recipe for domination. I'm not gonna lie to you. And today, in football terms, if you can't stop the run and you can't run, typically that means you're not a great team. And Washington is a good running football team. They should dominate this game. Like, that's why if they don't dominate this game, I'm gonna be pissed off, because I'm gonna say to myself, because we talked about this too, Glenn. We talked about this, and I think Paul referenced this too. When in the chat at times, you got to kind of when you play a team like this, you got to coach yourself to a point where, all right, playing like this beat the Eagles down the road. Does playing like this beat this team or that team? Like, yeah, a win is a win, but you're gauging yourself for the better teams. Like, you want to prep yourself so when you play those teams, you're like, all right, we ready. Because you just get by beating bad teams, or barely beating a bad team. That's gonna catch up to you. I.e., like even the Chiefs, as much as like I'll use another team. The Chiefs were barely scathed and getting wins. Eventually, you're gonna play somebody who ain't gonna let you off the hook.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like eventually. Go ahead, George.
Wole, you started the conversation with a perfect point about that game in New York against the Giants.
Yeah.
We let a bad quarterback have pretty much the last good game he may ever have in the NFL.
Thanks.
We let a bad team hang around, and then look what's happened since.
Mm-hmm.
You got away with those bad habits, and then when you repeated them against the Steelers and you repeated them against the Eagles, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
This team needs to beat the brakes off the Cowboys. They need to smack them. They need to dominate them. Not just because of what happened last year down there, the turkey legs and the run jumping into Salvation Army thing and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
They have not. It's like what you said. If you're gonna beat Philadelphia, which you have to do if you're gonna win this division later this year, if you're gonna beat Atlanta, who even in their state is still the division leader in the NFC South, you have to play better than this to do that.
Yeah.
You have to. So they need to come into this game hopefully feeling better after 10 days off, and they need to wipe the floor with the Cowboys, and we shouldn't have any moments of real stress or anything like that. We should be chilling in the fourth quarter, getting ready to do the post-game show and thinking, okay, this team is back on track. Because if this thing, even if they win, if this is a one-score game, I'm going to have some serious questions afterwards.
Paul's a question. I like this question from Paul. What does dominance look like? And I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with you, Glenn.
Dominancy looks like to me, you're keeping pressure on Cooper Rush.
Mm-hmm.
CeeDee Lamb is not having a good game. I'm gonna tell you the game they played. Dallas played 2 weeks ago.
It wasn't
Houston.
It wasn't San Fran. Who was it? I'll pull up. Go ahead.
I watched the game, and that was a dominant game because they couldn't do anything. They turned the ball over. Team go down the field, score a touchdown. They threw an interception, score a touchdown. And you saw then they would give up. To me, dominancy is like what? All right, let's break it to this year. Let's break into it this season. Dominancy is like
Eagles. You're talking about the Eagles when they play the Eagles.
Yeah. Dominancy is like when the Washington Commanders took on the Carolina Panthers, and you saw how dominant it was in that game.
That's dominant.
Now you playing that's dominant. So now, if Washington can do what the Eagles did 2 weeks ago, then we can say, you know what, the Eagles and Washington are comparable in the NFC East. And so I'm looking at do the same thing the Eagles done to the same team the Eagles played, and now we have a conversation. That's what dominance looks like for me. Y'all both have common opponents, and you want to be the top dog, you have to do what the top dog did to this team.
Very good point. George, what's dominance look like to you for this game?
Dominance looks like to me we're resting starters in the fourth quarter because the game is well and truly over. That, like what we did against Cleveland, I think, what was it? I think Jaden played
Carolina.
I think if he even took a snap in the fourth quarter. He might have took like a couple snaps in the first couple minutes of the fourth quarter. That was it. That's what dominance looks like to me. We're so far ahead that we're resting starters in the fourth quarter, and we're just running the clock out. And that's kind of what I'm expecting this Sunday. They need to absolutely stomp a mud hole in these guys.
So I've been deemed a savage. Like my brother would tell me when I coach, I'm a savage. Like I always want to beat people until like I'm over the top. Like I'm a horrible, like in youth basketball, I can be bad at times. Okay, I can't be. So to me, dominance is to beat a team into submission. That's just what it is. Like make them quit. Like what I saw on Monday night, I wanted to be 10 times worse than that. That's the type of dominance I want. I want it to be worse than what I saw Monday night. I'm not going to lie to you. I want it worse. Mm-hmm. Like it's dominance. That's my term of dominance is to keep my foot on your neck and to make sure like you remember this game for the entire season. To a point where you're so mad at this game, you want to get back in 2025, 2026. That's my demon down. So Paul says dominance is 28-0. Yeah, 28-0 is dominant than me because the defense showed improvement. Defense has shown improvement. But my thing is dominance. And I'm gonna be real with you, Paul. It's not even like the score has to be lopsided. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's one. But secondly, it's got to be dominance in terms of physicality too. Like I'm talking about smacking people, making people scared, making people like shake their heads. I want body language being messed up. Like that's the type of dominance I want. I want them to feel like they fire McCarthy right there and then. That's the type of dominance I want. Go ahead, Glenn. You said something.
No, that's it. Just making it look easy. Like Terry going across, catching balls. Nobody's dropping anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're making it look easy. B-Rob is hitting for 30 yards pop. Eckler breaks one off. You know, making it look everything they do turns good. You know how you have it in basketball, have that moment when you're in the zone. Like you look at the Golden State Warriors and everything they shoot, whatever they shoot, regardless who's shooting, right, is buckets. And I'm thinking like the way I want it is, regardless of whoever touches the ball for Washington, it's buckets.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. That's how. That's what I want. I want it to be be just like the Carolina. Like honestly, like the Panthers game. That's actually one of the best efforts I've seen for this team this year. Like that was straight dominance. Like defensively, that team wilted and quit. Seriously, like that team quit that day. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want them to impose their will and just do them dirty. Like Paul said, like 1986 Giants dominance, bro. Like, it's got to be to a point where you look at this game and you're like, and like you said, George, we can chill at the third quarter and prep for the post game. That's how we dominate. You know what I'm saying? Like we can hit in the text. Like, yeah, okay, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about that. All right, we pretty much have our plan laid out already. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what we want. You know what I mean? Yeah, Steve. That's it. That's what we need. Like straightforward.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so. We put in that type of effort. That's dominant stuff. Thanks, Paul, for that topic too. I mean, that question. That's a good question. Yeah, but that's what we want. We want to dominate. Like dominate. Dominance to me is dominance for me is breaking someone's will.
Mm-hmm.
Once I break your will, the floodgates open. So I want to break your will. I want to break your competitive nature, your like everything. I want to break the will of your fans to a point where they just walk out because we know they're going to be in the stadium. They're going to be in the building. I want to see them walking out early at halftime. I want to see them walking out in halftime. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. So let me play. So that's what I want to see. That's dominance for me. But let me play devil's advocate. We're talking about this being a must-win game, and it is a division game, and we've seen some fluke things in the NFL. So let's not act like we haven't. We're a responsible show here. So we're gonna have to play the other side. Say if this team loses to the Cowboys on Sunday, what would be your feeling towards this team if they lost to the Cowboys on Sunday? And I'm gonna start with you, Glenn.
If they lost to the Cowboys on Sunday, you have to look at the whole Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year conversation. You have to look at the whole defense from Joe Witt. Has he gotten better? Didn't get better? Mm-hmm. You have to look at Dan Quinn and say, why is this team regressing? Mm. You have to look at Cliff Kingsbury and say, why is this team not putting up points like they used to put up points? When you have a healthy Brian Robinson, where you have a healthy Austin Eckler, where you have a Terry McLaurin who's healthy. None of these guys, as of right now, will be on the inactive list. So if this happened, you have to look at every coach and every coordinator have to look at like what's going on within the organization and why is this team slip in the last 3 weeks. We'll have losses in the last 3 weeks, but this team has slipped in the last month and a half, going backwards. So again, if we really honest with ourselves, you're one Hail Mary away. From this team. You're one Hail Mary away from this team losing 3 or 4 games in a row.
Well, 3 out of 4. They're going to beat the Giants. They're going to beat the Giants.
Yeah, but the Giants game was a slow start too.
Yeah, but they was going to beat the Giants. So it wasn't like that game was like.
I say that, but if you don't get the Hail Mary, you don't know what team comes in the next week.
Okay, that's a good point. All right, I know what you're saying there. Gotcha.
Right? I got you. You don't get the Hail Mary win, you don't know what team comes in the next week.
I got you. That makes sense.
Yeah. So again, if you lose to the Cowboys, you're looking at this whole staff like, what is going on, and why is this team regressing? And so that would be my point. Defense is playing better. Mm-hmm. And so what you look at, you really look at you look at the offensive side of the ball. But that would be my point. If this team lost to the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, every coach will be not firing, but you have to look at every position coach like, okay, what is going on? Why are we slipping? And as George, you mentioned earlier, a mini bye quote, right? 10 days. You have 10 days to prepare. You should come out with all cylinders, right? You should be coming out, boom, firing on everything.
Against a team that played Monday night, so they had a short week.
That too. That's what I'm saying. So George, same question to you, bro. If they lose, I know you get it because I know you got that emotional hit to yourself like me. So I want to know what would your thoughts be if they did lose this Cowboys game?
I would be asking a lot of uncomfortable questions that people don't want to hear. I know that Cliff Kingsbury is sick of hearing about all the second half of the season your teams go, well, you know what? You're going to keep getting those questions if you lose a game like this one on Sunday and your offense stinks it up again. You know, Joe Witt don't want to hear excuses about what happened at the end of Philadelphia game, and that's great. Mm-hmm. If you lose this game on Sunday, we're going to be asking what Glen asked. Joe Witt, why is this team going backwards when it looked like they were getting better? Mm-hmm. What's going on here? How did you let either Rico Dowdell go off, or how did you let their only really good player on offense left, CeeDee Lamb, go off, for instance? Mm-hmm. You know, how'd you let the worst rushing team in the NFL run the ball on you? Because that's probably part of that scenario that you lose. And then Dan Quinn, you just look at him and say, you know, you wanted this second chance to be a head coach so bad after the way things ended in Atlanta. What's going on here? How has this team lost that fire that they had early in the season? Where has it gone? Are you playing a quarterback who's injured instead of maybe resting him and playing the other quarterback who's at least come in one time and done a good job as a former number 2 pick in the draft? I mean, like I said, it's nothing but uncomfortable questions for everyone. And if they get mad, too damn bad, because you don't get everybody's hopes up like this and then take it away. That worst thing you can do to sports fans is get everybody hopes up and then leave them hanging. Can't stand that. And at 7-2, everybody's hopes was up.
Yeah.
Way up. I heard you. I heard other people. They were talking Super Bowl. And I think it was right to talk Super Bowl at that point. Because you were looking at, man, we have a shot at the number 1 seed. Look at this.
Yep.
You lose 3 in a row, and the third one is to a Cowboys team that is completely falling apart from top to bottom, even including the stadium itself.
What?
Oh, wow. It's gonna be a dark start to winter if you're doing that stuff.
My man Paul said that happened would have to question the whole coaching staff. All right, so yeah,
absolutely.
A little bit of that too, Paul. I'm gonna lie to you. If they lose this game against the Cowboys, I don't know where to start. I think I would be in shock. I don't even know. I don't know how I would respond. I'm trying to save that because I think I would be in shock because I wouldn't be able to believe it. But I do think, like Paul said, it would be coaching. I would question coaching. I would definitely question has the whole Cliff Kingsbury thing in terms of people figuring him out. I would question the defense, but in terms of I would question the defense because that means that I would question the defense because if the Cowboys won, it would mean they ran the football well, and Washington is still bad against the run. So I question why this isn't fixed yet. Like I would question that. Like how come we are still not able to stop the run? Because the Cowboys can't run the football and Washington can't stop the football. So I would kick and Washington can't stop the run. So if the Cowboys were able to, that would make me think like, yo, this defense is real. This defensive in terms of stopping the run, this defense is really bad. Like I would go there. Like I would say they're really bad. But it would all start with coaching, and then I would go back. I won't lie. I would go backwards to the Eagles game and be like, and I would go and say like, Dan Quinn, why didn't you kick the field goal? Like I would go back to the Eagles game. I know why didn't you kick the field goal? Because now I'm gonna start questioning like you got greedy. Like instead of coaching this game, coaching to win games, you got greedy. So I would go backwards. I would have revisionist history. Like I would do that. I know who I am. I would go backwards to address what's happening right now. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I wouldn't be happy with it because at the end of the day, too, you want to finish the season strong. I don't care what it is. You want to show progression, period, towards the end. I don't care how you start the season. Like if you start the season bad, the overall thing for a young team is you want to end the season strong, right? For a young team, that is the goal. It's improvement. Like so, it's the same. All right, for instance, the same thing with let's use this reference. This is extreme, but Sam Howell looked good in the beginning, right? But he regressed terribly, right, towards the end of the season, right?
Towards the end of the season,
so you don't want that. Like you know what I'm saying? You don't want that. You want to show promise towards the end of the year. Like if anything, you want Jayden to get better at the end of the year. That's the goal. Like he's hit the rough patch, but now you want him to take, after the rough patch, you want him to ascend. So that's the thing. Like you want to show progression towards the end of the season. At least you want to play good football. Things happen when you can play good football and still lose a game, but you want to play good football to the end of the season. And so the teams that are left on your schedule, if you play good football, you should win. You should win the majority of those games. So the thing is, for this game, if they lose this game, that means they're not playing good football. And that is a problem. That means you're definitely going backwards. And that needs to be addressed. So what Paul said, that has to be addressed with the coaching staff. I think Paul also said, this too. I agree with this statement too. I would question veteran leadership on this team. That too as well.
I think so too. I like that one because I would question the veteran leadership. I would question Terry McLaurin. I would question the Frankie Louvu's, the Bobby Wagner's.
Yeah.
This team came out flat. I would question the Anthony Lynn's, the coaches there. I think when you talk about this team, Jayden Daniel regressing, And I don't think he regressed so much. We saw an interception, but that was, so he was trying to do too much, right?
Yeah.
He was trying to do too much.
It's better defense. You're playing better defenses, bro. Like that. It's hard to say regret. You're playing against better defense.
Better defense. But one thing this team did not do, and I think Cliff Kingsbury got away from it, even against the Philadelphia Eagles, was run the football.
Yeah.
I think this team has to run the football much more. And I think if this team runs the football like they're supposed to, and like they can, a dub will be there. And we'll talk about it more in the post game, but this team has to be able to, in the pregame, this team has to be able to establish the run, and offensive line has to be able to keep Jaden Daniels upright, because the games that they lost against the Pittsburgh Steelers and against the Philadelphia Eagles, they all got pressure to Jaden Daniels, and his timing was off.
Yeah, and I will add this too in terms of like Jaden. It's not, again, no, not that Jaden. It's what you said about this team running the football. People don't want to hear it talk, like, they don't want to talk about it, but it's real. Like, this team was better suited. If you watch the stretch of the games, like, Jaden made some good throws, but this team was better suited running the football. Like, the stars of the team were really Eckler and B-Rob. Those were the stars of the team. To be real with you, like, Jaden made some good passes, but when this team was rolling, it was because of Eckler and B-Rob and how they gave him short fields. Jaden would have some all-scripted plays, but when this team was really rolling, we talk about how dominant they look. Look where who was being featured for real,
yep.
for real.
And everybody
but they need Jaden. They need Jaden running for this running game to work. That's what the Philadelphia game showed. Look at all the second and shorts that didn't get converted.
Yeah, but you could also make the arguments like, all right, how many times did they run B-Rob? It's all about running B-Rob. Because B-Rob gives you those running lanes. B-Rob was getting running lanes without, like, Jaden makes life easy. Yes, I agree with you. But B-Rob, when you feature B-Rob, he's come off the injury. When you feature B-Rob, they're a better team. When B-Rob's not playing, they're a better team. Like, they're not a better team. We've seen it. When B-Rob's in compared to out, the difference is him not being there. You know what I mean? So I'm with you. Like, yeah, I think it all goes together. Like, Jaden makes life easy. Of course, Jaden's gonna make life easy as a threat as a quarterback, running threat as a quarterback. But when they're utilizing that 1-2 punch of Eckler and B-Rob, they are hard to beat. They are. They're hard to, because the physicality gets in, they wear you out, wear you down. Then you got Jaden now. Now Jaden read option works a lot better. Like, Jaden now could take off. Like, there's so much that's involved. Now you got play actions involved better. And Jaden, to me, is getting better as a passer every game. Like, I know people want to talk about it. I know last game, it wasn't his best game, but he's getting better as a passer too as well. But this team still works better off of the premise of B-Rob, Eckler, play action off of that, hit Terry, and then you got something. When you go away from it, and if you got Jaden throw the ball 20 to 30 times, like, or 25 to 30 times, then you're not getting the best out of this football team. You're just not. My man, what did my man Timothy say? He had a question. He said, George, are you concerned about the Lattimore injury?
Yeah, well, there's some talk he's going to play this week. I've heard both ways. I've heard no, and I've heard maybe.
He's DNP. He's DNP again.
Okay. I am concerned, but they did say when they traded for him, this was as much about 2025 as it was this year. Yeah. So that when you remember that was said, that makes this less concerning than it would be otherwise, but it's not great because you did have a need at corner. This is a team that's a contender. You definitely want some immediate benefits out of this. That said, they said what they said, which means we know he's going to be here next year, which means we've at least started to address the problem at corner. I am a little concerned, yes, because, again, he's also missed a lot of games. But I do think we're going to see him on the field at some point this year, and I kind of want to be careful about judging this team until I get to see what this secondary looks like with him in it. And that's before we even acknowledge the fact that they were really, really good in the last game.
Yeah.
And they might be starting to turn things around.
Don't rush him back.
There you go, Glenn. Go ahead.
My thing is, don't rush him back. Make sure he's 100% healthy. If you're going to make this push, right, that they want to make in the playoffs, or, push towards the division championship, right, you want all hands on deck, and you want people to be as healthy as possible, right? And so when you get there, you want to be able to, whoever you face in the playoffs, when you get there, or whoever you play last week of the season against Philadelphia Eagles. You want your all guns there. So, if you don't need him, don't rush him back. Like, make sure he's 100% come to the field. Make sure your top dogs, because you already, like George, you said it, you already played most of the season without him anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're right. You've already, so these guys are trying, some of these guys like St. Juice them or maybe auditioning for other teams, maybe. So again, let them come back at 100%. And the secondary had gotten better, but because again, look who's on it. Mikey's playing his butt off, man. Mikey. Can we be honest? Mikey shut AJ Brown down.
I don't want to say I'm not. AJ has some catches, but Mikey
AJ didn't score. AJ didn't.
I'm with you. I used to look. I'm trying to be chill with it, but Mikey did the darn thing. Mikey did the darn thing.
I think AJ Brown might have had one explosive play, if that.
And nobody had 100 yards. No.
Yeah.
And Mikey was putting work on both of them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all Saquon in that fourth quarter, basically.
Mike, you see the difference, and I was just off topic, but still, I mean, but you see the difference with Mikey and the other corners. Like on them, Mikey locates the ball and can knock. He doesn't panic. He doesn't panic. Like that's the difference between Mikey and the corners that we have on this football team. Dandon said, Commanders defense better not let Rico look like Emmitt Smith with rushing 200 yards and 2 touchdowns this Sunday. That's the concern I do have there, because Washington has shown this season not to be strong at stopping the run. I think they're 25th or 27th in stopping the run. So that is my concern, because I feel like if you could take away the run from the Cowboys, I think it'd be an easy game. I mean, we'll get into all that in the pregame, but that's something that I am concerned with.
That's the worst rushing offense in football. Exactly. We better stop them.
Yeah, you better. Paul, the next 2 games will show how this team responds to adversity. I agree.
And they're against 2 bad teams, and it's like, get these wins and get to the bye, and then you're ready. You're ready for a huge stretch run where you can make your season, put yourself in position to get maybe as high as a 2 seed if you can win this division. Because remember, Philadelphia still got to play us on the road, and they still got to play Baltimore and Pittsburgh. They can still got the Eagles.
Oh, they got the tough teams that we already played.
Yeah, this got tough teams we already played.
Yeah, they got it. They got to see the work. But it goes back, like, in terms, again, going to like why this game to me is a must win, just because, like, look at the season, look at the schedule. It's just, to me, this should be like this. You got to treat the Cowboys. Now, I mean, I'm not going to use a derogatory term, because my man Paul knows about this. I'm thinking about saying, but you got to treat the Cowboys to what they are. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat them like who they are. Like, they want to be felt up a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. They want to be felt up a little bit. This is where they are right now. This is where they are right now. They want to be beat. They want to. You got people talking differently. You got Micah Parsons wanting to be here in DC, basically. They're still romanticizing over Dan Quinn. They want to be here. They want, like, you gotta let. That's why it's a must win. If they want it so bad, you gotta give it to them.
Hey, that guy can come here.
Yeah, he can come
yes,
here.
Sir.
They want it so bad, like, I agree with you. But they want it so bad, you gotta give it to them. You gotta give them a reason for them to come over here. If you want it to implode, you gotta give it a reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I
want Micah and Trayvon going to the club again.
No,
like they were doing this past week.
It was Trayvon. It was Trayvon and CD.
Oh, that's who it was.
Trayvon,
yeah, I want them going to the club again.
Look, Trayvon is local. He could take CD to the club when he get here. On Saturday.
The Cowboys are on Tory. The Cowboys on Travis Hunter and Shador Sander watch.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they could be on the watch. So we got to give them a reason to be on the watch.
That's right.
If they want Travis Hunter so bad, let's give them that opportunity.
Give them an opportunity.
So give them what they want. That's what I'm saying. This is why it's a must win. They want this. The Cowboys want this. Give it to them. Don't let them off the hook. Give it to them. Give them what they want. Because if you don't give them what they want, then now I'm annoyed. Now I'm annoyed. Like, now I'm like, yo, they laying down for you. This is why it's a must win. They're laying down for you. And you're not going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to help them. You're not going to take the shovel. They're laying down. You're not going to take the shovel and add dirt to it. You don't walk away. Nah, we don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. We put dirt on that. We like you want the grave, you get the dirt. That's what we want here. With Paul. Paul has a question for us. The question: which wide receiver needs to step up besides Terry? Noah, because he's the number 2. I don't count. I mean, I don't count Zacchaeus because he's trash to me. I mean to say, but it's the truth. Dang. I mean, to me, Diami need to step up. I just think he's better than what he is, right? Like what he showed. Like the last 2 weeks, I felt like we got bad Diami. So I just think he needs to go back to the guy who was kind of like folks were changing their mind about him. But the last 2 weeks, I just thought he didn't play his best game. But I had to be real, like, you know, to me, you traded for Noah. Noah needs to step up because that's the guy that he's the number 2. He's getting the opportunity, right? And I also to me, McCaffrey, I'm not gonna say he needs to step up. I don't know he's featured enough to say he needs to step up. He doesn't get enough opportunities. It's not like he's not open. I know he's open. I've seen him being open, so I can't say he needs to step up. But also, Cliff Kingsbury needs to step up his play calling so he can get these dudes open, make life easier too. So, because not always on the quarterback, it ain't always on the receivers. I only put it on the receivers when they drop the football. You know what I mean? If you gotta. Because a lot of us say that, you know, these guys need to step up, but sometimes these guys are open and they're not getting the ball. So is it their fault that they're not getting the ball? Then on the flip side, though, but we can blame them on is if we do see they're not getting separation, and we can assess that, and if they're not, and if they're not catching the football, we can assess that as well.
Wole, you took my answer because it's not a matter of him needing to step up; it's a matter of him needing to get a chance. With all these wide receivers dropping the football, Luke McCaffrey needs to be out on the field more. If you are dropping the football that much, then you need to be sitting on the bench. Yeah. And I don't care, reputation, this, that, or the other. Honest to goodness, there is no reason that Luke McCaffrey hasn't gotten more of a chance after what we've seen from these receivers the last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. So get him out there, run some stuff for him. I think Jaden likes throwing him the football, so I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. Yeah. We need more Luke McCaffrey right now. You know, we were all surprised early in the season. What's this guy doing out here? He didn't do much in preseason. Yeah. Then he showed us something, and then for whatever reason, he's not getting out there. And I don't know if he's not a good practice player or if it's just that Noah and Diami have shown them something or they really like Zacchaeus. Luke McCaffrey has got some talent, and he's shown it, and I want to see more of him.
But I will say this, though, George. He is out there. He's out there a lot.
Is he getting out a lot of snaps? Because it doesn't seem like it to me, but maybe I'm okay.
The issue is that, like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know, Jay. You said, like, I don't know Jay like throwing the football like that.
You know? Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, look, I trust what you say on this, so if that's the case, that's not great because
he's out there a lot. He's out there. He's
these other fools are dropping the ball way too much. I'd be tired of throwing to them after a while.
Well, he dropped one. Like he dropped one. He dropped one against the Steelers. Sideline.
Yeah.
So he's not. But to your point, I think that they need to. I just think that Jaden, or there's two things. He could be the initial read a little bit more, or the secondary read a little bit more. I think again, Jaden's a young quarterback, so I don't never look at it like, you know, he's ready to survey the whole field easily, right? That comes with time. But he can get more features, though. To your point, George, he can get more features. To a point where he maybe at times, you know, maybe you can make him the number one read. You know what I mean? Not Terry at times. You know what I'm saying? Just to get his ball, just to get him rolling. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Maybe give him some of those wide receiver screens. Though Diami really seems to be really good at the wide receiver screen plays.
Yeah.
But give him the opportunity in one of those plays. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. McCaffrey had 20 snaps last game played. That was 30% of the plays.
Yeah.
Noah Brown had the most for far as receivers. He had 51 snaps.
Yeah.
And then you had Zach Ertz as far as for tight ends had 53 snaps. Yeah. To me, what needs to happen, I know it's wide receiver needs to step up. To me, it has to be Noah to step up. I want you to be known for something more than just catching a Hail Mary play, right?
There you go.
I want you to be known for more than the Hail Mary ball, right? I want you to be the true number 2, right? Be that guy. But who really needs to step up for me, I think, is Zach Ertz and these tight ends, because guess what? I'm not saying they lost the game. They had some crucial mistakes. If you go back to the I think it was the Pittsburgh game, Zach Ertz dropped one, might have been one, not dropped one in the end zone, I believe, or was called back. And then you got the first down situation, right? You got last week. They didn't really get the tight end. You played 53 snaps. I expect you to get the football, and I expect you to catch the football. And I expect you. He killed it last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. So to me, tight ends, he has to get his tight ends more involved. When this team was good, and I'm not saying this team is bad, right? When this team was, let me put it this way: when this team was winning, the ball was shared around a lot.
That's true. That too.
When
He's
this
right.
ball,
You're right.
team was winning, the ball was shared around, and so the more receivers he can get involved, the more people he get involved, the better this team is.
Very good point. Very good point. I do agree with this. The ball was being shared a lot more. I feel like now he's pretty much. I think he's being more. And I'm not mad at him. If I had to make an assessment, he is very focused on Terry, which I think he should be focused on Terry a little bit more. Last game, he didn't focus enough on Terry, but I do agree. I think you do need to share the ball a little bit. I agree with you, Glenn. That's a good point. That is a good point. Need more Ben Sinnott too. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the same thing, Paul. We'll see, man. Like again, his route running ain't as good. Zach Ertz was good last week. Yes, it's not. I cannot. Zach Ertz was good, bro, against the Eagles. I expected him to be good against the Eagles too, though. I did expect it though, but I do want to see him though. Like I watched Ben Sinnott in Kansas State because for some strange reason I got a lot of Kansas State games here in the DMV. I don't know why we got a lot of them here. And Paul, I'm sure he's watched them play as well. He ain't. I'll say this: he's not the route runner. I'm keep saying he's not the route runner that Zach Ertz is. He's just more physical. I'll give him that. He's physical and he can block.
Mm-hmm.
He's very physical. He can block. I wouldn't call him like the dynamic playmaking tight end. He's more. I mean, I know he got the Cooley comparison because we saw certain things in preseason, but Cooley was a good route runner for So he's different. He's different. But he's physical. And he's a hard man to bring down. In camp, he had the drops, so that was an issue too. In camp, he had the drops. I don't know how much you want to rely on that, but he's got talent. Don't get it twisted. He's got talent, and he's athletic too. He's an athletic tight end. I would like to see him out there. I don't know in terms of when you look at your tight end, you're looking for a security blanket. I don't know how thorough of a security blanket he is compared to a Zach Ertz. So if I put it. Ideally, if I had him out there, it'd be more 2 tight end sets, and he wouldn't be the tight end I'm leveraging. He wouldn't be the one I'm leveraging. He'd be the guy that hopefully he's running through the seams wide open. He wouldn't be a guy that I'm looking at, hey, get open for me. You know what I'm saying? Like those tight ends, like the tight ends that we are accustomed to seeing, like a Travis Kelce, a George Kittle, even Zach Ertz at his older age, guys like that, like you can rely on, get open for me. This is a big third down. Ertz is more reliable than I would say a Ben Sinnott. So, but we all want to see the young guy. I'm with you, Paul. We all want to see young dudes play, though. I know you're coming from. You want to see young dudes play. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You want to see it. You drafted this dude. We saw some good things out in preseason. That nice catch and run in the preseason. I want to say it was against the Jets or Miami. One of those. I think it was the Jets. So yeah, I get it though. I get it. But all in all, man, this game has to be. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Hopefully Washington dominates this game so much that Ben Sinnott gets a lot of burn. I'm hoping a lot of dudes get to feel good. I hope this is like a homecoming game. Would you say, Glenn? You was on mute.
That's what I want to. I think the homecoming field has to be right. The crowd has to be right. Yeah. To me, when you're coming off the losses, you're back home. You have to be able to have the energy, right? This team needs to come out with fire. The band need to be playing, the cheerleaders need to be cheering. People need to get in there early before the game starts. And they shouldn't be so many blue and silver fans and not enough burgundy and gold fans.
Yeah, well, this area sucks, dog.
Well, but I mean, he's right though. Glenn's right. This Dallas team is terrible. You'd think of all the Dallas Washington games in the area, you wouldn't see a lot of Dallas fans showing up for this one because they're so bad.
You'd be surprised.
I think you get a lot of Dallas fans because when you talk to Dallas fans, Dallas fans always think they can beat the Commanders.
Yeah, especially the local ones. The local ones here.
Yeah, local ones. Yeah. Regardless of the year, regardless of the record, they always like, you know what, we could beat the Commanders regardless.
And they're rebellious. That's the problem. It's more of a this game is because like they're not the ones. All right, so I'm just to keep it being like they're not like I don't even feel like they're real Cowboy fans. Like they are Cowboy fans, but not like real diehard fans. They just look at this game as I have a cousin who's one of them. They just look at this game as a way to annoy a Commanders fan. Like so they expect to lose, but if they beat you, oh man, they're gonna
You'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're back, baby. No, you're not.
But if you beat them, they don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like it's a weird thing. It really is. It's annoying as hell to be honest with you. But yeah, that's why I'm like they'll be there. They'll be there for it to be annoying. Put it that way.
Yeah,
it's a social thing. I think the best way to say it's a social thing for them. They're just there to be there.
Yeah,
but if they win, it's a bonus. Like now they can get on all the Redskins Commander fans because that's what they want to do.
They'll be on our podcast talking trash.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, won't they?
Exactly. Like, and I'm guaranteed that they're not really watching the game. Like, not really watching the game, but let the game be closer. They're up. Now they're kind of watching the game at that particular point in time, and then they're ready to kind of troll people. They're ready to troll, put it that way. They're just trolls. I guess the best term used. They're just trolls. The ones that are ready are just trolls. So we'll see. Like I'm interested to see how I'll ask you all before we like wrap this thing up. What do you expect the turnout to be though for this game in terms of Commanders Cowboy fans? I'm gonna start with you, Glenn. What do you expect?
I think it's gonna be a good turnout. I think there will be a lot of Commanders fans there.
Percentage. So give me a percentage between the split.
60-40 Commanders.
Okay, that's good. That's good actually. That's not bad. I know it sucks to say that, but it's not bad actually for this.
I know, right?
George, what you think, man?
They're so bad though, and let's be honest. No, even if you only go once or twice a year, going to FedEx, even maybe under this new regime, it's a little better, but it's still going to FedEx, which sucks. So, for God's sakes, and here's the other thing. We know that it's worse the later the game is. This is the rare 1 o'clock game. Usually that means your best Commander's attendance is that. So I'm hoping for once we're going to keep these people out, and it's going to be like 70-30 Washington fans.
Oh, that would be great.
That'd be lovely.
Paul, 60-40. I kind of think it's going to be 60-40. I'm not going to lie. I do think because they are bad and they don't want to be embarrassed, you're going to get like a few. I mean, it would be 50-50 initially if they were good. It would just be 50-50 if they were good. But since they aren't good, now you got trolls and going to FedEx is more of a social event for certain people. I think 60-40. Yeah, 60-40. I would love it to be 70-30 though. I won't lie to you. I think that'd be if it was 70-30, I'd be like, okay, that's really good. You know, for a Cowboys Redskins Commanders game because it's really good actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
That'd be really good because you won't even when this area, those fans atrocious, man. There you go, Paul. Most of the Cowboy fans, are women. That too. There are a lot of women. Yep, I agree. A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of them do. A lot of Cowboy fans who are now our age. They're like our age, or even younger. They're Cowboy fans despite their parents or like their family members because they were like their family members are like Redskins Commander fans. So they wanted to be the opposite. But yeah, there are a lot of women Cowboy fans. There are a lot of women Cowboy fans actually. Very good point. Very good point. Hey, well, we'll see what happens. We'll be as you know, we'll be doing our pregame right before the game. 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Noon. All right, noon, not midnight. Noon. All right, noon. And we'll have Miss Candy Waller, Bowie TV's Commanders reporter. She'll be on. She'll give us a 411 on what's happening before the game, actives and actors. The vibe of the players, the vibe of the stadium, the vibe of the press room. You know what I mean? Also, some of the stuff she kind of picked up on during the week as she was covering this football team. So hopefully this team is back on their swag mode where they were like whooping up on teams and beating bad teams like they stole something.
Beating bad teams. Got to do what they got to do.
You got to beat who you guys on the schedule. You gotta treat a team like they are. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Free Mike Wiley, the running back. Man, Mike Wiley, Paul, you keep trying to you freeing the wrong people, man. Free if my man St. Juice playing, if St. Juice is playing, free my man Forbes. You talking about Wiley? We got freaking Eckler and B-Rob. You said free what, man? Free Forbes if St. Juice is playing.
Yeah,
man, free Forbes, man. For real, man. If St. Juice gets to play, man, free Forbes. But it's okay though. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. Forbes ain't play that bad. I mean, St. Juice ain't play that bad against the Eagles. So I'll give him his flowers. But I'm just telling you, you talking about free Mike Watt, man. Why I like Michael Watt. I like him too.
I did too.
But I'm like, the running backs ain't been my issue.
Yeah, running backs
my
issues.
Ain't been my issue. There's some other, or I ain't gonna lie to you, I got a better one for you. Free Defoe because Butler keep playing over him. Let's be fair. Like we gonna free people. Let's free people who really. There's a difference. Like Butler has not been great, but he gets burned. But Defoe can't see the field. Let's free people. Let's free people who are right. That's free. Right. Percy misses tackles and everything. That's free people who need to be freed. In comparison to or in conjunction to you, for real. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like there are certain people that ain't really been playing good, and they still get to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's some people that ain't been doing so well, and they still get to play.
Free 20, for real.
Really?
I'm just saying, free him over. Like, I'm not saying he should start, so don't get it twisted. Like, I didn't say he should start, but I know Percy getting burned and Percy getting packages, and 22 is better than Percy. George, you agree?
Yeah, no, well, my free would be free Jordan McGee. I want to see some.
He out there. He just ain't really. There's no need to.
Yeah, he's out there on special teams though, mainly.
It's hard to play. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's hard. Who he gonna play over? He a linebacker. Who he gonna play over?
Well, you gotta give the starters a rest once in a while. I'd like to a couple plays.
Not my tribal chief.
No,
we're not getting not Bobby Wagner. He could learn. You know what I'm saying? Like. All right, if they run a three linebacker set, you know what? They run a three. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Does Walker play? That's Walker, right? Michael Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he should get. Yeah, definitely. Noah George, I'm with you. Free Jordan McGee then. If Walker's out there, free Jordan McGee.
Yeah,
I'm with you, George. Oh yeah. You know what? Yeah, he needs to get some time. Now he don't get that much time only on special teams, bro. You know what? Owens. All right, that too.
There you go. I like that one, Paul.
I like Owens. Free him over Butler. It's just Butler needs to like. I know they like Butler. But come on, man. Come on. I'm just saying. I like Percy got when he was drafted, but I'm not going down that show. I'm not going down that sword. And I met Percy, but I think he's cool. I just don't think it's fair to say that he's better than those other guys. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to myself. Yeah, he's with you, Paul. Like what you get. Free 58, Jordan McGee. He's with you. See?
Yeah.
Paul with you. Everybody. I like Jordan McGee. I think Jordan McGee he's gonna take Bobby Wagner's position the next couple of years. He's gonna be the Mike.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be the Mike. I think that. So George, I just want you to know he's going to be the Mike eventually.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that you gotta, he's training. He's in, you know what I'm saying? It's training day. You know what I'm saying? He's like right now. I mean, he's not in the evil way. You know, Bobby Wagner is Denzel Washington in training day. You know what I'm saying? And he's gotta, he gotta walk with him, man. My man gotta walk with him. Gotta learn the trades with Bobby. But he's gonna be there though. He's gonna be there. He definitely gonna be there. But like I said, make sure y'all pull up to our pregame on Sunday. I mentioned that already. Also, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to our All Burgundy and Go Everything YouTube channel. All of y'all right now who's on it, hit the like button. I'm seeing y'all on YouTube. Hit that like button now. Hit it now. If you're on our other platforms, make sure you go to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button and also subscribe because some of y'all ain't subscribed yet. So hit that subscribe button. All right, waiting on y'all. Because when I go back and check, I want to see additional subscriptions. I'm not gonna lie to you. I got it on my iPhone. I got YouTube Studio on here, so I'll be checking. I'm gonna check for you. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button. All right. So also we also subscribe to our podcast, which is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search All Burgundy and Go Everything. Also, tweet us at ABG_everything. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at ABG_everything. All right, y'all. Really appreciate y'all for joining the show. Paul, you my guy, man. Appreciate you. Timothy, I saw you, man. Appreciate you, my man. Steve, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, chiming in, man. We all appreciate you. Always appreciate the fellas, Glen and George. The homie Mo was out, but we appreciate Mo. Yep. Anyway, you've been listening to all Burgundy and Gold, everything powered by the Urban Sports Scene and Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. Your dig, deuces, your gang, your mob. We out.